Welcome to episode 100 of the Fantasy Football Healers podcast. I want to thank all of our fans for listening in and keeping this show fresh and exciting week after week. This is a show that is about Dynasty Fantasy Football, and we are now infused by the Fantasy Holics. That's Fantasy Holics 1 on Twitter X. You can find them at thefantasyholics.com. Looking for articles, news and notes, rankings, and all kinds of fun. And don't forget, they're also on Facebook, and you can follow them there. I'm your host, Dustin Brown, and with me today is our co-host, none other than Colton Palmer.
Welcome in to episode 100. When we started this, man, I didn't know if we were making it to 100, but here we are, standing strong, and I've had a blast doing it. To anyone that's been listening to us from the beginning, let us know if we've gotten any better. I feel like we have.
I think it's gotten better and better.
I feel like I ramble more, but maybe that's what the people want, you know? Maybe that's why you're still here.
I mean, that's why we've got all these nice takes here on the side, you know? We've got our...
Jay Harvey is your Dalton Kincaid.
We've got our...
A good tight end, man, and I love it.
And don't forget about...
Long neck. Davis Mills.
I mean...
Sometimes you just gotta call your shot, man.
Colton, there's just so many. And that's not even counting...
7, 6, 7.
We love hearing you, Colton. We can't get enough.
The old long neck might be my best one, aside from the Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, honestly.
Oh, of course, the Bill Belichick. And this is for everyone out there, Colton. They love this one.
Bill Belichick, I think he's done with the college kids, except for his girlfriend, of course.
What a classic joke. I mean, just instantly. Love it.
We definitely love it. And Colton... Today is the Hot Takes episode. We had the Hall of Fame game that just happened yesterday, and that was probably that has to be the best Hall of Fame game that has ever been on television. It was a great game. I'm wearing my Hall of Fame jersey. I'm wearing a Fran Tarkenton jersey here today for the podcast for our viewers. And do you want to touch a little bit about this game that happened just yesterday before we get into some of our hot takes? And there is a little bit of news and notes.
That game is all you, man, because like most of the country, I didn't watch it.
It was a good game to watch.
I must have missed something. Normally, I do turn it on for about 10 seconds and then get more frustrated because it's not real football. So then I turn it right back off. So this year, my kids were being absolute terrorists last night. So I just let them hold reign of the TV. Thought about putting it on my phone. My phone battery percentage was at like 5%, and I'm like, I guess I'm just not watching it this year. I'm not going to put in my 10 seconds of the Hall of Fame game, but if you fully tell me that this was a good game, I'm going to be sad I missed it.
It was a pretty good game. Again, it's in the background. You know, I'm not just like really super honed in, but the first, series or two I'm watching, Carson Beck, he looked like he was holding his own against some secondary players. Defense-wise. Superbowl Kenny Pickett, not so good. It didn't look great for Superbowl Kenny Pickett because the guy behind him was last year's ACC quarterback, basically champion. He was like the number one guy coming out of the ACC over Carson Beck, and that is Haynes King. And he played very well. I was very impressed with his play. He's known more as like a mobile quarterback, a dual threat quarterback. He can throw the ball, but last night he was really trying to stay in the pocket for as long as possible and throw the ball to his receivers. And again, he's throwing to guys I haven't heard of in a long time, Colton. These are guys that are just picked up from the scrap heap that are on the Panthers. Bryce Young was having a big smile on his face from start to finish, even with Haynes King playing very well, and not only playing well, but he ended up running and utilizing his speed in the fourth quarter. The defense wasn't ready for it. He ends up scoring the last second touchdown to win the game for the Panthers. It was a great game. It was a good one. It was like 33-30.
That must be
Panthers.
why I'm staring at Sleeper, the trends right now, and Haynes King over the last 24 hours has been added by almost 20,000 managers. So
Yeah.
it
If
makes
somebody
sense.
would have if somebody would have picked up their phone last night, I would have been able to talk to you about Haynes King 2 minutes before kickoff and see if I wanted to drop anybody for him in Superflex. And I decided just to kind of hold strong. But I think that Super Bowl winning Kenny Pickett, might not make this roster.
Well, like I said, man, my battery was low and my kids were being turds. So I apologize for not answering the phone call, but sounds like I might be going to make some moves on some Haynes King.
He's a guy that you don't have to go out and pick up right now, but you probably want to put a star by his name and keep watching and seeing. And if Super Bowl winning Kenny Pickett doesn't make this roster, well, I'm not a believer in Bryce Young. Well, if Bryce Young turns back into a pumpkin where he's not throwing the ball down the field like he normally does, throwing under 200 yards per game 200 yards, and not getting the ball to his receivers, I mean, who's to say that they don't say, hey, let's see what the Haynes King has in store? And because otherwise, they're not invested in Bryce Young right now. This is a make or break year for Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young's time is definitely ticking there, and he's got to prove it this year. I highly doubt if Haynes King is the answer. That's
Right,
just my own
which is
opinion.
why he's still on the waivers, Colton.
Right. So, I mean, but if the thing is, Bryce Young this year is going to have to play his team out of drafting a quarterback next year. Everybody keeps talking the 2027 class is supposed to be loaded with quarterbacks. They're talking possibly 7 first-round quarterbacks right now, if not more. So he's going to have to play his team's way out of that, of getting one of those. And if he doesn't, then he could definitely be in danger.
That'll make for a fun draft show.
That will be. I've heard it's going to be all offense. I'm so excited. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. Who knows? Last year, people were talking how we were going to have quarterbacks and players this draft, and everything fell apart. But we'll see. We'll see.
I think it's going to be exciting. But before that, we've got a lot of exciting stuff to come. In fact, we got all these hot takes to come. But you're going to have to hold on just a moment because there is a lot of news in the last day here, Colton. I've just tried to just kind of jot down a few things. There are 3 running backs that got big bags of cash. One being Bijan Robinson getting 3 years, $75 million, highest paid running back in history, $51 million guaranteed until Gibbs ends up getting the 3-year, $67.5 million up to $75.5 million a year. Now the highest paid running back in NFL history. $51.5 million of that is guaranteed. And hold on, Colton. Hold on right there. One more running back got paid. Jonathan Taylor. He gets 2 years extension, $44 million, 39 of that guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, 3 big running backs, all deserving of their money. There's really not much to say about 3 of those guys. We know they're good. We know they deserve their money. And that's really all there is to say that, except for congratulations, boys.
I heard that there was concerns as far as like Jonathan Taylor, whether the Colts wanted to hold on to him or not, or whether he was going to be a trade candidate. I don't know if you heard that in the offseason, but that was kind of getting sprinkled around. Obviously, he's the number 1 running back for the Colts, and they're in question of what they're even going to do at the running back position. I've heard rumors of Nick Chubb potentially signing with the Colts.
Well, my former team is I knew they weren't going to get rid of him. That like Chris Ballard is on the hot seat. Shane Steichen is on the hot seat, and they both know if they don't win this year, Charlie Irsay is going to say bye-bye to both of them. And, if they would have gotten rid of Jonathan Taylor, that's getting rid of like 75% of your offense. With a quarterback that you're trusting to come back from an Achilles tear, you're going to have to take some heat off of them. And if you get rid of your running back and just say, hey, we're going to try to sling the ball with this guy, it just would have just signed their warrant to get out of there, honestly. So I figured an extension of some kind was coming because they've got to get offensive playmakers, and they got to win games. So I assumed this was coming, and I kind of saw it coming from this. So
Colton, we're in the middle of a mock with our friends, the Fantasyholics, and it's a redraft league, 3 wide receiver league, 1 quarterback. And I was on the clock. We got a 4-hour clock. 2 minutes past the 4-hour range, I get my notification and says, "Oh, you just been auto picked. You set on auto pick." And I'm just like, "What the heck?" So I end up going in. I look, and this wide receiver who just got paid 4 years, $140 million was my auto pick. And thank God, I ended up putting somebody in my queue. I ended up getting Zay Flowers in the 3rd round.
dude, I'm so torn. I'm honestly, I'm not the biggest Zay Flowers fan. I think he's a fine, additional piece to have in fantasy football. I know he finished high. What was he, like the wide receivers, like or seven? He was high. I'll look
I'm
it up.
not sure. He was top 10, but he
Yeah.
definitely got the payday, and we'll find out here about hot takes wise.
Right.
But I've got something here with the Baltimore that I'd like to conjure up. But there's not really any other receivers that have really been stepping up. There's been a little bit of blurbs about Jacoby Lane, but I've heard a lot of nothing.
But I mean, my thing with Flowers is he's getting paid more than Jefferson, in my opinion. Does not even come close to that caliber.
I agree.
For me, he's just getting paid for stuff. He's getting the money because there's no other receivers there and there's no other options right now. So I don't know. I don't know. Want to follow the money on this one, saying Zay Flowers is about to be the greatest fantasy asset because he's getting paid this much. That's not the true story. I think he's going to return to kind of where he's been in the past, which is a fine piece to have on your team. But I would be terrified if he's my wide receiver 1 in fantasy.
Yeah, he's not my wide receiver 1. He's my wide receiver 2 in this league in particular, and it's the 3rd round. So there's a lot of drafting still left. I probably need to make sure that I'm off the auto button here in just a moment, so that way it doesn't come back around and it auto picks another player for me. Stefan Diggs. There's been a lot of news on Stefan Diggs potentially landing with the Commanders over the last month. It finally happens. 1 year, $12 million. He's a commando.
He is. I was right. It was Zay Flowers finishes wide receiver 7. Steel trap, man.
Well done.
My goodness. Yeah, I mean, there was some rumors being swirled. He signs with the Commanders. Honestly, this means more for me for Jaden Daniels than it really was get me excited for Diggs. I mean, Diggs was a fine option to have, as a flex / wide receiver 3 last year with him on New England. But this just gives Jaden Daniels another good target outside of Terry McLaurin, considering we were thinking that Antonio Williams, a rookie, was going to be wide receiver 2.
Were we though?
There's a lot of buzz, man.
Ayuk,
yeah.
It was
Speaking of,
okay,
Diggs, watch your back because Ayuk might be coming for you at this point, man.
It sounds like the Commanders aren't interested in his, antics.
Well, they can't
we,
be.
We may have seen his last, catch in the NFL. It doesn't sound like the
ball,
NFL's really happy for him.
The ball is in San Francisco's court, and he just keeps pissing him off. They said all you have to do is come here, and he will not do it. Dude, that poor man just.
You know why he doesn't want to do it? He has a warrant for his arrest in California.
I didn't know that.
That's why he doesn't want to go to California.
That's pretty funny. Man, that guy needs help. Somebody help Ayuk, please.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason.
He's off the rails. Off the rails, man.
Going crazy. Last 2 things. Jalen Waddle. There's a lot of excitement around him. There's news that broke that he has a leg strain and he's going to be out and they were very specific. He's going to be out for 4 to 5 days. First off, what the heck's a leg strain? Is it the calf? Is it the quad? Is it the hamstring? And what kind of strain heals in 4 to 5 days, Colton?
It's the strain of he strained his leg, obviously. You as
one of those things like he's in practice. Oh, he's limping off to the sideline again. and then he comes back in and he goes back out and he comes back in and he comes back out. He did that with the Dolphins like every game.
You, as a doctor of physical therapy, should know what a leg strain is. It's a strain of the leg. The leg is strained.
The
It's
one
not
muscle of the leg,
it's
yes.
not normal. And he misses. He's got to come in and out of games with the injury. He's got to really draw the attention. So he's got to do the same for training camp. Take a little bit of time off, come back, take a little time. You got to just keep it. I like consistency. I like the consistency.
Maybe rest for week 1 of the preseason and not playing the first preseason game.
Yeah, just here and there. Back in, back out. Oh, Waddle, man. I tell you. Still excited to have him on the team, even with the information given. But he does. He loves his time off, man. He likes to take it. He likes the attention of the injury, I think. He's what is that? What's that disorder? Where Munchausen's. He's got the Munchausen's. He just likes to be injured for the attention.
That's not great for your wide receiver 1, though.
I'll take it. He's my wide receiver 4 in one league, so.
Oh, that's not bad.
Pretty
Not
pumped.
bad, Colton. Although I have him also in my Wizarding World, and he may be my wide receiver 4 there too. 4 or 5. So I'm hearing you out. You got one more guy, just mainly because he's a guy I like, and was currently either the RB2 or the RB3 with the Jets. That's Isaiah Davis. He's going to be out for a few weeks because he had a knee sprain. So I think it's just news to know. That also provides you with maybe feeling a little bit better about drafting Breece Hall in the 4th round.
So you're telling me his leg is also strained? He has a leg strain?
His knee is sprained.
Yeah, but he has a leg strain. The leg is strained.
Well, a strain is different than a sprain. A strain is going to be more muscular, while a sprain is going to be more ligamentous.
So it's a leg sprain?
It's a leg sprain.
Oh, okay. Slightly different. One
a little
letter.
bit different. Yeah, ligament
Whole letter.
or muscle.
Yeah, one letter.
It makes a difference. Colton, before we get into our hot takes, do you want to take a look back at our 2025 hot takes and just kind of see how some of these ended up?
Only if they're good.
Well, some of them are. Some of
there
them
we
are
go.
pretty good.
Let's dive in.
For instance, one of my hot takes last year was Mac Jones, quarterback, over Brock Purdy for the 49ers. Everybody, I think even you, had called me crazy about that. Well, let me tell you something, Colton. Mac Jones played in 11 games, while Purdy played in 9. Technically, Mac Jones over Purdy for the year 2025.
Technically speaking, who scored more fantasy points out of those games, though?
Technically, Mac Jones was over Purdy for
Okay.
those 11 games there, Colton. I don't know what the fantasy points was. I didn't write that down.
Let me look that up for us real quick.
That would be a great stat to see how the average was for Mac Jones versus Purdy. But both, I think, were pretty efficient. And they had a lot. They both won games for the 49ers. Somehow they still ended up in the playoffs, Colton. What are we looking at here?
So in 11 games, Mac Jones, 130 fantasy points.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy, in 9 games, 178. Rocked him with 2 games less.
Colton, these are hot takes we're talking about here.
Just saying.
Statistics, you can push a statistic any which way. I'm pushing mine towards I was right.
All
Mac
right.
Jones
Games played.
over Brock Purdy. Games played. Boom, done.
The end.
The end. I had Keenan Allen go into the Seahawks or the Patriots. He did not go there. He ended up with the Chargers, and he played a very mediocre role. He has not signed with the team yet this year, Colton. And wouldn't it be interesting if he signed with the Seahawks or the Patriots? Maybe I was just a year early.
Never wrong, just early.
Yep. Kincaid is Trey Burton 2.0. That'll just continue on. The Terrence Ferguson is the Winter Soldier. There's been a lot of hype with Terrence Ferguson going into this season. I'm really excited to see kind of where this goes, but they got a ton of tight ends. This was an excellent one. Darius Slayton outproduces Travis Hunter in fantasy points. And yes, Colton, that hit. Darius Slayton ended up having 98.8 fantasy points versus Travis Hunter's 63.8 points
This man can
in
see the future.
2025. Dylan Sampson is Kenny Gainwell. I had said that back in March. I don't think that's far off. I also had said back in March that Tootin is a quick twitchier version of LaShawn McCoy. And now we'll see it. We'll see what happens here in 2026. That might have just been a season early. A bad take that I had that maybe wasn't so bad was Burden over Tet McMillan. And what's interesting there is Burden ended up being the more efficient of the two wide receivers. In fact, he ended up having yards per route run. He ranked third among all NFL wide receivers at 2.80 yards per route run. So it just was unfortunate. There was a lot of bodies that were still there with the Bears, and he didn't have the opportunity. Plus, he had a few injuries. Ted McMillan, their offense was a pretty underperforming offense. Again, less than 200 yards throwing every game. So I'm not going to take the L on that one, Colton. I feel like there were some stats again that kind of went the direction of Ted, or some that went towards Ted and others that went towards Burden. Both, I think, are phenomenal receivers, and both are being drafted early in redraft. And then I had said that Arizona's Jonathan Gannon was going to be the first coach fired. We missed that one. We both thought that was a good one.
I really did.
Fan is Trey McBride. I mean, he played fantastic last year. I said that back in February. And then we have some of your takes. You had Elick Ayomanor. He was going to score at least 720 yards, and most of them were going to be against Travis Hunter. He ended up with 515 yards, and only 55 of those yards were against the Jaguars. One game it was 5 yards, the other game it was 50.
So sad.
Yep. Colton, you had said that Garrett Wilson was going to be traded for like a first plus. You thought that he was going to be getting traded from the Jets. You had said, or I think we both had said that Breece Hall was going to be Kansas City Chiefs this year, and that didn't happen. I thought Kenneth Walker was going to be a Raider, because I thought that would be a fun take with Kenneth Walker kind of going in competing against Genty. That didn't happen. He's with the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought that Travis Etienne was going to be a Viking. That didn't happen. He's with the Saints. And finally, you also had one with Hampton from last year, Colton. Do you remember that one, the Hampton?
That he was going to be drafted, he was going to be running back one, I believe.
Yeah, I think you had him as running back one out of all the rookies, including Genty.
Yeah. It's close.
Might be a year early.
I almost re-upped it. I almost re-upped it and put him behind Bijan and Gibbs for this year and put him at running back 3. I didn't, because I feel like it's possible.
Yep.
I feel like it's too possible.
Yeah. So we had some good takes. We had some bad takes, but that's what makes hot takes fun, Colton, because anything can happen. The season hasn't started yet. We're putting our flags down. We're just trying to see where this all goes. And I'm going to give it to you, Colton, to give us our first hot take for this season, 2026, on the episode 100.
100, and I get the first hot take. Go. All right. Well, I'm going to stick it to the most important position in the NFL. We're going to start here at the quarterback. And this might be hot takey. I don't know.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be. It's a hot take show, Colton.
Well, it may not be, though.
We didn't come here for lukewarm. We came here for hot takes.
The problem is it might not be a hot take, because there's people that love this guy, including me, and love the team. And I believe has the easiest strength of schedule, or second easiest strength of schedule, and his wide receivers have the easiest strength of schedule. And he's got 2 very studly wide receivers, and he's going to finish as the quarterback 1 this year. I'm talking about none other than Mr. Joe Cool Burrow. Quarterback 1 just slinging the ball to T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. If the three can stay healthy, this isn't even close to a hot take, man. Their defense has gotten a little bit better, but they're still going to have to sling that ball to stay in these games and win. I don't think Chase Brown is that special like other people do. I think he's a product of having to stay true to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. We saw last year when Jamar Chase and T. Higgins were taken out because the quarterback couldn't throw the ball. Chase couldn't do a darn thing. So I don't think he's special. I think they're going to have to throw the ball to stay in games. And who other to trust than Joe Burrow? And so I think he's going to be throwing a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards, and especially with the strength of schedule and his wide receivers' strength of schedule, it's going to be incredible. And I'm going to love every single minute of it.
I like that take. With Joe Burrow, he's going to have to do it through the air because he's not a quarterback that runs the ball, and so he's going to have to throw it to his guys. They have to stay healthy, Colton. Both Chase and Higgins have to stay healthy. They have multiple tight ends that are available this year to help them out. Chase Brown is really the only running back in town, and he can catch the ball too. So I don't hate it there, Colton. I think it's a good take. I don't know if it's like the hottest of takes, but I'm sure there's more caliente to come.
Well, I wrote down right next to Joe Burrow, my quarterback too, if you want it.
Well, is it hot?
It's pretty hot.
Let's hear it.
Right behind Mr. Joe Burrow is none other than Justin Herbert as your quarterback 2 on the season. I'm sorry, Josh Allen. Step aside at quarterback 3 this year because Herbie fully loaded, coming with a new offense with McDaniels coming into town. His line is finally healthy, another year older too with Joe Alt. He's got the receivers in place. Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, whether people like him or not. I still like Trey Harris too. Amari Hampton's going to be healthy.
A lot of weapons. A lot of tight ends.
Yeah, tight. You got Aronde Gadsden, who people are still very hyped about, and David Njoku's sitting there too, who's no one to just laugh about. I think this offense is going to be so hard to stop. It's going to be incredible. And everybody forgets Justin Herbert is athletic. He does run. He rushed the ball quite a bit last year before things started to fall apart, and I think he was just trying to take care of his body after that. So
he's always nicked up. That's the problem. His offensive line, when they're healthy, they were the top throwing team in the NFL last year, and that was with only one of their 2 tackles. Once the other was gone, it was game over.
Yeah,
they couldn't make anything happen.
But Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, you heard it here first. 1-2 punch.
Are you not worried about the Justin Herbert's girlfriend being on the sidelines having picnics while the practice is still going on? You don't think that's going to be a distracting factor?
First of all, fiance. Get it right.
Fiance.
Second of all, I think that just makes him play better. You can't be playing crappy in front of Madison Beer. Can't do it. So he's gonna have to play his heart out in order to make sure this wedding goes through.
Well, I know you're younger than me, but do you remember the Tony Romo, Jessica Simpson?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jessica Simpson was watching, and every time that she was at the game, Romo played terrible.
I did not know that, actually.
He played awful.
Well, stay away then. Get away.
You're going to have to look back at that one there, Colton. I don't have a quarterback one per se, although I did say a moment ago Kenny Pickett not making the team for the Panthers. I don't know if that's really a hot take. I'm going to go back to 2 takes that we had earlier in a few of our episodes just to make sure that it's on this episode for Hot Takes, Colton. Last year, we brought you Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. This year, we're saying the next Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is Dean Connors and Eli Heinenreich. I said that back in February. I even wrote an article about it. Go to thefantasyholics.com. You can check out the article. You can also find it on their Facebook page. If you want to know a little bit more, please go forward and look that up. The reason that Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt ended up having an opportunity too after he was drafted following the Shrine Bowl, the Washington Commanders ended up trading away Brian Robinson before the season started, which made Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt the number 2 running back. And then shortly thereafter, I think it was week 1, Eckler ends up getting hurt. and then he got thrust in there as the RB1. He just exploded. Everyone's talking about Bill this and Bill that for like the first month, like September-ish or whatever, the whole month of September. Oh, Bill, 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 Bill. Everyone's excited. The problem is when Daniels went down, their offense wasn't going anywhere. So Bill didn't have the opportunities to take the ball and run it through the goal line and score his fantasy points. He still ended up having a lot of yards, but I'd like to see Dean Connors, who's now with the Rams, and Eli Heinenreich, who's with the Steelers, currently no better than the RB3 here in early August. We'll see if they have any opportunities to make that jump to be the next JCM. And then, Colton, we got to talk about our side bet. We talked about it a little bit last time, but our side bet, that's pretty hot takey. I've got
For you.
for me, it's hot takey. I've got Coker of the Panthers, my wide receiver 47, over Marvin Harrison Jr., who's my wide receiver 48. And Colton, he took that bet. He's like, I'm going to take Marvin Harrison Jr., who's his wide receiver 20, over Coker, who's his wide receiver 65. And this is over a few brewskis.
Yes, it is.
We got to make sure we include this on our hot take episode, Colton.
Yeah, and we'll keep you all tuned in. Everybody hopefully is following the tracker with us as we go through this season, because I'm pretty pumped to get a free 6-pack.
That I've heard that a couple times now. Heard that a couple times.
I'm just jinxing myself.
We shall see, Colton. But let's turn it back to you. Let's get another hot take.
All right, just following along down the list, we had a lot of running backs get paid in the last couple of days. Well, mine is unfortunately a little bit sad, and I don't think this running back is going to get paid. I believe he was a 5th-round draft pick, came onto the scene and absolutely exploded, dealt with a lot of injury last year, and they bring in Kenny Gainwell as well into this new backfield, and I think Bucky Irving finishes outside of the top 24 running backs. I think they're bringing in some people because there's still injury concerns. I think they're bringing in people because his body he's a smaller guy. He may not be built to take the workload that they were putting on him. And maybe they realize that. And I think this is going to be more of a split backfield than what people are expecting. I know people love Bucky Irving, and they believe this isn't me poo-pooing on his talent, but he's just a little guy out there. And so I think we're going to see a lot of work go to both Kenny Gainwell and possibly Sean Tucker on that goal line. They kept him on. They trusted him last year, and we could see that continue. And I just don't see Bucky Irving, returning on value out and finishes outside top 24.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on that. I had one that was Kenny Gainwell, currently running back 35, over Bucky Irving, running back 20. So I think that Kenny Gainwell is actually going to outscore Bucky Irving. So I'm doubling down on Bucky falling outside of the 24.
Oh, boy. Oh, that's so painful. A year ago, we would not be saying this. Last season, there was no way. There was no way. He was too good. On him. Yeah, and so...
Although I was a Rashad White guy, so I would have been against it.
I do. I liked Rashad White. I almost put him down as the hot take as running back 1 in Washington, but I don't know. Couldn't do it.
Yeah. So this next one, Colton, I've got Deebo Samuels returns to fantasy relevance. And hear me out. We've got the San Francisco 49ers. Their injuries are piling up at the running back position with Garendo. Jordan James with his rib. You got Kalen Black already with a hamstring. So you got a couple of the running backs that are starting to fall down. And now they're scraping the barrel to pick up a guy like Khalil Herbert, who hasn't been fantasy relevant since he's been with the Bears like 4 years ago. And not only that, but they've got so many injuries with the wide receivers. Christian Kirk, hamstring. We don't even know if Christian Kirk's going to make the team. Mike Evans, he has a quad. Got Stribling, he's injured. Pearsall, he's got a season-ending. He's on season-ending IR. So what do they all have in common? Deebo, they get Deebo on the cheap. He knows the system. He knows how to play the running back position. He knows how to play the wide receiver position with Shanahan, and he can play that joker role for Shanahan. He was still productive last year, even when he was considered like the fat Deebo. And he just fell outside of like the wide receiver 2 range at wide receiver 24, but he was still giving you PPR points for the Commanders when McLaurin was kind of on and off of whether he was in. Do we think that Mike Evans is going to make it through a full season? I'm not sure. His hamstrings always tend to be a problem. Right now it's his quad, but it usually starts with one lower body thing and it can develop into another.
A leg
So
strain.
a leg strain that definitely could that is part of the leg strain. Yeah, that's part of that muscle. That's part of the leg strain. And Debo in 2023, he finished as wide receiver 15 with about 900 yards, 7 touchdowns, and an additional 225 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, that sounds like something that could be in his wheelhouse for one more fantasy relevant season. So I'm going to say Debo Samuel, top 15 wide receiver this year in 2025.
Honestly, I don't hate it, man. Top 15 though. Oof. That's hot. I think that's the hot part of it. With how
I
hot.
want to. I mean, top 10 is. I think it's too hot.
Top 10 is
top 10 is way too hot. That's too caliente.
Spicy.
I think. Can he have one more season like he did from 2023? We're 3 years removed from that. He did get big. It sounds like he's in pretty good shape right now. I like that. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm seeing everybody else. All the dominoes are falling down. He's been the furthest away from that electrical power plant. Like, let's bring him in. He's got a low center of gravity, so he's more grounded. So maybe that'll give him more of an opportunity to not have the electrical impulses to cause those strains and sprains that we're so concerned about.
Well, I mean, I didn't think about that factor, but what would you pay to go out and get Debo right now?
I don't think you have to pay a whole lot at all.
You think you toss a third at somebody and that gets it done?
I'm considering sending some of these trades here, Colton. I think I'd have to do like a third and maybe just like a young player. It doesn't necessarily have to be a productive young player or a player of consequence, but I think that could get it done. Two thirds for sure.
You think
But I
Jalen
you gotta
Coker
do a
gets it
third
done?
you might, you know what? You might be able to get for Coker right now with the hype for Coker. I bet you could get Debo Samuel plus.
Probably.
I bet you could get Debo Samuel and a third for Coker.
I bet you could.
And I don't hate that. I think you're probably going to get more production out of Debo, but this is a 1-year rental.
No doubt. Definitely
Like 1-year
1 year
rental, low productive, maybe Bryce Young led offense for this year plus, or maybe Bryce Young moves on and they get a quarterback that actually can throw the ball down the field, and now Coker is even better. So I don't know.
It's close. I think that's right around the value.
Choose your flavor, Colton.
That's close. That's tough. All right, we'll move on to
You like that one though? You like that one with Debo?
I do like that one. I do like that one. We'll move on to my wide receiver. Hot take though, and mine's kind of about two. There's I think who's going to be the next big dynamic duo of the NFL. These are guys that have a quarterback that you and I believe in. I wouldn't have said that a year ago at all, but I'm saying it now. And I believe these two wide receivers finished this year both as wide receiver ones. And next year, I think they'll be able to be drafted as wide receiver ones.
Like
and
a top 12, top 12 wide receiver?
Top 12 wide receiver, right?
Yep.
Those two wide receivers belong to none other than the New Orleans Saints and Chris Olave and Jordan Tyson. Honestly, man, Tyson is back at practice. He's healthy. He looks good. And I think he's an absolute stud, man. And I think this team just extended Olave, so they believe in him. They believe in his health. I think this team is going to be so good, especially bringing in coach. They got the Kubiak, right? Right?
No, Kubiak is.
No, Kubiak's Vegas.
Kubiak left the Saints to go to the Seahawks, and now is with Vegas.
Right. No, who's the coach there? It's another good offensive mind. I'm trying to think of his name.
I can't remember on top of my head.
It's slipping the back of my head. But anyways, I like his offensive system.
Kellen Moore.
Moore. Thank you, Kellen Moore. I knew there was a K somewhere. Kellen Moore. Yep. I like his offensive system. I think he's going to make use out of these two wide receivers. And, I mean, they do have two backs that catch the ball as well. which I think helps take a little bit of heat off of them. But behind those two, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of pass catchers at the tight end. They did bring in last year Devon Vele, who doesn't scare me off at all. So I think these guys are going to be utilized a lot. And if you believe in Tyler Shuck, you have to believe that these guys are going to be good. So I think these two can do it. I think they're a good.
These two are both wide receiver ones, Colton. Your maybe a better take would be that Tyler Shuck ends up being a top 3 quarterback.
It could be.
I mean,
I don't know about that high.
Well, I mean, if you got 2 wide receivers that are going top 5, I'd be interested to see, like, you maybe do a quick Gemini search and see, like, hey, who's the last quarterback that ended up having 2 top 12 wide receivers and they're in fantasy points, and where did that quarterback end up, like, standing at the end of the year?
I'll look it up now while you give yours.
I mean, I think that that might be a hotter take there. If you truly believe that Olave and Tyson are going to be top 12 wide receivers in this year's 2026 season. I'm still 2025, Colton. 2026. Golly. Tyler Shuck, he's just going to blast off into the universe. Before I get to, I got a couple of more hot takes here, Colton. I'm gonna save my hottest maybe to the end. I don't know how hot this is, but my next one's hotter than this. I got a couple tight end ones. Tyler Warren finishes higher than Loveland. I think that's a hot take, but I'm not sure because there's a lot of Warren fans and there's a lot of Loveland fans. But who the heck is catching the ball with the Colts outside of Tyler Warren? The reason I have Loveland lower than Warren is mainly because the Bears they've got Burden, they got Loveland, they got Komet, they've got Odunze. They have a much more challenging team schedule compared to the Colts. They have didn't they win the division last year? They've got like the number 1 schedule, so it's going to be much more challenging. They had a lot of games that they won by 3 points to get them over the edge, and a lot of comeback modes. And are they going to be as lucky as they were last year? Loveland was very good in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, Loveland is a fantastic tight end, but for this hot take, I have Tyler Warren as a higher finish than Loveland, solely because I think that the Colts don't really have anybody else to throw the dang ball to, and outside of downs. And Warren plays a lot of those downs roles, and as long as Tyler Warren stays healthy, I think he has the edge. What do we got with Shuck?
I'm going to hit yours real quick, and I don't know if it's super hot takey. I know there's a lot of people. High.
It's not. It's lukewarm. It's lukewarm.
But I do like it. I think the option is there for Tyler Warren, and I think he is very good. But I agree with your argument 100%. Anyways, Peyton Manning supported 2 wide receiver ones in 2013. Finishes the quarterback 1. Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, quarterback 5. Ben Roethlisberger, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 4, finishes the quarterback 6.
Okay.
All right. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, doesn't really count, but it's supported, is high enough. Quarterback 1.
I think, Colton, you have to have an additional quarterback in your top 3. You've got your top 1 as Joe Burrow. You got your number 2 as Justin Herbert. I think you've got to plant the flag on quarterback 3, Tyler Shuck.
It says they finish in the top 5 100% of the time if they support 2 top 10 wide receivers. I'll put them at number 5.
You're going to put a top 5?
Top 5. I'll give them top 5.
Okay, you heard it here, folks. Tyler Shuck is this year's top 5 quarterback, and he not only is the quarterback in the top 5, but he is supporting not 1 but 2 wide receiver 1s in fantasy football.
That's pretty hot.
I like it, Colton. I like it a lot. I'm gonna give a little bit better hot take here for the tight end. I got one more here. Mark Andrews, top 5 tight end finish. Is that a little bit better? At least we were talking about who else are they going to be throwing the ball to? Likely and Kohler are gone, no longer on the team, no real tight end or wide receiver threat outside of Zay Flowers, and it sounds like even the rookies aren't really doing a whole lot. Again, it's kind of dabbling. It's kind of like just kind of touching a little bit about Jacoby Lane, but I think that's just a lot of fluff. Last year he was tight end 16. In 2024 he was tight end 6 in PPR. I'm saying he's a top 5 tight end this year. Mark Andrews.
All right. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. That's a little caliente because
a little better.
Because
you didn't do it too, did you?
No. Are you ready for the triple dip? I'm tripling down. It's time to triple down.
Yeah, is this another Saints player?
No. God,
no. I was gonna say that's 1, 2, 3. That'd be quadruple down.
No. I know you're gonna
triple down. You're tripling down again. You're doubling down on the triple.
You're gonna hate it. And you're gonna be disgusted. Thanks. You're ready? Right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
He finally does it. Dalton Kincaid's breaking the top 6. I knew you're gonna be so mad.
Don't say breaking the top 6. Say he's gonna be a top 5.
Okay, top 5. All right, I'll do top 5. Top 5. Fine, give it here. He's finally injury free, so he says. I'm taking his word for it this year. He's been having PCL injuries.
He's not. He had a PCL also. He's in the same group as Pearsall.
I'm just saying. He says he is healthy and finally moving and pain-free.
Dobbins.
I am believing him. My goodness, this is it. Because all they did was add a wide receiver that, sure, he's good. He's all right. But it's nothing exciting. They still need pass catchers there. I think that he is going to finally come out. They have been talking about how his pass blocking has gotten better, so he might finally be out there or pass run blocking. So he might be out there in these plays that Dawson Knox was just taking these easily dump offs to. They're gonna use him more. I'm excited, and he's gonna be out there more, and he's gonna get more points, and he's gonna break the top 5.
Finally, top 5, top 6, Colton. He hasn't broke the top 10 yet. Trey Burton ended up having 1 year where he finished as the tight end 8. We've already had this conversation. Dalton Kincaid, his best season was tight end 11. And then he went to 30. And then he went to 20. You're telling me top 5. Maybe just finally getting above top 6. You make it sound like he was a top 6 tight end 1 year in this league. Slow the roll here, Mr. Colton. Right now, Trey Burton 2.0, he needs to get in the top 10 before he gets into the top 5.
You get mad about it. Go ahead. You be disgusted. But here we are. I'm tripling down the third year in a row. This is the year. And you can hang on to your RJ Harvey takes and you can triple down in next year on it. But my goodness, my boy, he's going to do it. He's going to be – and if it doesn't work this year, I'm done. This is it. This is my last chance for him because I will never believe him again, and I will sell him for a penny because I'm done with him if he doesn't do it this year. RJ Harvey is your Dalton Kincaid. It's a true statement, man.
I don't know. I have a take that actually goes against RJ Harvey. That's going to be coming up here, Colton. Do you have any more hot takes as far as the players go? I've got 2 remaining.
As far as players go, no. I just have our final yours and I's little things we talked about at the beginning, our categories. So.
Okay, but I know we just talked about RJ Harvey. Why don't I just stick with it and just go right into the RJ Harvey stuff? This one's not a pro RJ Harvey take, Colton. This is actually I was trying to find a take for Mike Washington. And yes, it's going to come out of left field here, Colton. I was trying to find a take. I'm trying to figure things out. Ashton Genty, he had the number 1 opportunity share last year, 84.3%. Seventh in carries at 266, about 16 carries per game. He was 7th in targets, 73. That's basically 4 targets per game. But the team didn't. They as far as rushing plays go, they were number 31, and a lot of that had to do with their offensive line wasn't very good, and they had no one to throw to. Their offense was just inept. I don't know how much better their offense is this year, but they definitely have 2 significantly improved quarterbacks that are playing under center, and they're going to be able to move the ball even with some of the misfit toys that are out there as far as like the wide receivers go. And my take is Mike Washington is going to outproduce the number 1 running back that ends up being the Broncos. The RB1 for the Broncos, Mike Washington is going to outproduce that running back. Currently, RJ Harvey's ADP is 86, running back 31. Dobbins' ADP is 97, running back 36. Jonah Coleman's ADP is 159, that's running back 50. But guess what? You can wait even later. Mike Washington's ADP is 198.5. He's running back 60 right now. And I'm telling you right now, Colton, that this RB60 is going to outproduce all 3 of these running backs for the Broncos in the year 2026. And I'm not done here, Colton. That's because, hear me out. He is the number 2 running back on this offense for the Raiders. They don't really have anybody behind him. He's explosive. He can make big plays happen with little bits of touches. I think that he can catch as long as he can hold on to the ball. He had fumbling problems, but so did Adrian Peterson. I think he's going to end up being the goal line guy because they want to save Genty for when the team is actually relevant going into next year in Genty's 3rd season, when they actually have a team around him, including Mendoza. So why would you put all of those yards and all of those miles on Genty? You wouldn't. And so Mike Washington, even with like a 40% share, he's going to be more relevant than the 3 running backs for the Broncos. The Broncos are going to start off with Dobbins. Dobbins is going to stay healthy again. I don't care about what he's pinky swearing about. I don't see it. RJ Harvey, he has a role. He can catch the ball. He's electric. The team doesn't trust him when it gets cold and snowy. And then Jonah Coleman, towards the end of the year, then he's going to have some of the touches. It's going to be just distributed so much, Colton, that Mike Washington is going to make this happen.
That's pretty hot takey, and I don't know if that's so much anti-Harvey as it is Dobbins the way it came out. You said the quarterback or the running back 1. I'm like, well, that's not Harvey, that's Dobbins. So
Dobbins is RB 36 with per ADP versus RJ Harvey is 31.
Oh, I know what the people think.
Harvey's going 1 round earlier than Dobbins.
I mean,
but we
Dobbins.
drafted Dobbins. We trust him for a little bit.
I trust that man fully. He said he's staying healthy, and I believe him. He had his fingers crossed, didn't he?
I don't know if he did, Colton, but
sometimes you just gotta call your shot, man.
But that's pretty hot takey, man. You and your love for Mike Washington, it shall carry on.
Washington. I'm the one person that I think has been on Mike Washington. I don't care where he ended up. He's still a 3rd round running back that got drafted to a team in the Raiders.
Maybe Mike Washington's your Dalton Kincaid, man.
No.
Maybe that's what it's changing. You're changing.
We're not going there, Colton.
I mean, we'll see what he does. We'll see if he doesn't do it this year, and if it's Genty all the way, you got to claim it.
It may be. There's so much love for Genty. There is. And people are going to call me crazy for this take. And they are, and that's fine. But I'm going to stick with my Mike Washington. I've scooped him up just about everywhere in all of Dynasty Fantasy Football, and I love it. I can't wait to just play him, just sporadically during the year when I need another running back. Maybe I'm not hoping or praying or anything like that as far as any injuries, but there could be a time when they decide that they want to just say, hey, let's give a little bit more to Mike Washington this week versus that week, and next thing you know, he's the starting running back for a time.
It's not out of the realm. There's a realm of possibilities.
Stranger things. But you said carry on just a little bit ago. I'm watching Supernatural, and I'm on season 12 of 15 seasons. And every end of season, they have a wrap up, and they'll do Carry On, My Wayward Son, and they
big
just
Supernatural
go
fan.
okay, very good. So they just go on and on and on and on, and they're playing all these bloopers and all these things that are leading up into that finale, and it just, man, I get excited now when I'm hearing that song.
Oh yeah, man. Big Supernatural fan. Watched it through multiple times. Invested a lot of time in that show. So I hear you. I hear you for sure. Shall we get into our final hot take categories? Or do you got one more?
I,
Oh, you
I,
have one more.
I had the one last one. I wanted to just go off of the RJ Harvey one. This one may be hot takey also, just because it's a hot take show, Colton. There's so much love for Scattaboo. There's so much love for Scattaboo, and I don't know. I think this is hot takey. You're gonna have to tell me. I'm saying it here, Colton. Tyrone Tracy is the actual RB1 for the New York Jets, the Giants.
Yeah,
Tracy's
Tyrone
RB40.
Tracy.
He's RB44 compared to Scattaboo is RB18. I think that's a hot take. I think Tyrone Tracy's going to end the year with more fantasy points than Scattaboo. Scattaboo had a ton of points when he was healthy. My whole take is basically that Scattaboo is not going to stay healthy all year long. Have you seen the shenanigans that he's been doing over the offseason? I'm not going to ever flip again, and then he flips, and then he's hurt again. I'm not trusting him. I'm not trusting this offense. I don't think he's going to have the opportunity to be on the field as much as what fantasy managers are going to want him being drafted at that early stage in your fantasy drafts. I'm much rather going to wait much later to get a Tyrone Tracy near the end of my fantasy drafts, and that's where my chips are going to be in. And if I have to pick between the two per ADP, I'm going with Tyrone Tracy.
I mean, it would take an injury. It really would. I
don't like to bank on injuries, but I feel like that there's a good amount going towards that, unfortunately.
His play style
and we all love Cam Scattaboo. I wrote an article about Cam Scattaboo, and we all love him. He's such a fun guy to watch. I just feel like his role in the NFL is going to be shortened because of his personality and his play style.
I was going to say he has a rough and tough play style, and unfortunately, unless you're Derrick Henry and you are 6'4", 240 pounds. Unfortunately, that sometimes comes with injury. And, it would take an injury because, yes, he is a very good player. The Giants believe in him. They love him. His quarterback, and him are best friends, and they are tied together. And so it would take pretty much an injury in order to get him off of that field. But that would be the take. Is if he can't stay healthy, Tracy is probably the number 2 there. So
probably he was getting the fantasy points for you the second Cam was out last year. He was the running back,
right? And so it would take that injury, but I'll take it as a hot takey because of that. It's pretty, yeah.
I was trying to save my RG. I was trying to save the Mike Washington one for the end, but we were already talking about it, so I just jumped into it. Colton, we finally got our last 3 categories. This year we expanded our category 3. I thought there's 4, Colton.
I've got offensive rookie, the comeback player, first coach, and Super Bowl.
Oh, there is 4. I had them. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
We have an additional category of the original 3, and that is that's I think the newest one is going to be the offensive player of the year.
Offensive rookie.
Yes, offensive rookie. Excuse me.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Rookie.
Yeah, you're right. It's the rookie who we think. The first coach fired, Colton, is
none other than easiest choice. Everybody's gonna say they agree. Aaron Glenn. I'm sorry, buddy. Your time is done. Your team stinks. You stink, and you can do your weird little dance that you did last year down the sidelines, right on out of the building. You still lost that game somehow. So
and Aaron Glenn is with the Jets.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
So Aaron Glenn of the Jets is going to be the first coach fired per Colton. I think Aaron Glenn is the answer. I'm gonna have a different answer here, Colton. I'm going with Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur of the Packers. He's just not getting it done for the Packers. They're getting tired of him. They're going to run him out of town, and he's going to actually be the guy that ends up walking the plank first at the coaching position. I think that the Packers are not going to be playing to their standard, and their players aren't going to be healthy, and that's going to also lead to the fact that LaFleur's team isn't as productive.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but LaFleur did just get an extension this offseason.
I know.
Okay.
Glenn is the answer, but I'm gonna say Matt LaFleur if,
All right.
if none other to piss off Packers fans.
Yeah, you know what? Screw you, Packers. That's the one
I
thing.
know.
That's
I know.
been...
I knew he signed the extension, but yeah, screw it, Matt LaFleur.
I'll take it. Yeah, screw you, Matt.
The comeback player of the year. I have the bounce back candidate of the year. I had him as T.J. Hawkinson.
I
said that back in June, and I'm going to stick to that.
That's fair, and I like it. I have as my comeback player with the most recent signing of Stefan Diggs. I've got it as Jaden Daniels.
I thought you were going to say Deebo Samuel. I'm like, ooh, I should have doubled down there.
No, Jaden Daniels, injury-ridden season last year. When he was on the field, he didn't even have his wide receiver one in Terry McLaurin. I think they played like 1 or 2 games together, if even that, man. So he never had his true wide receiver out there. Then he was injured when Terry came back. Now Terry's healthy. He's healthy. They've got Stefan Diggs coming in. People can believe in Diggs or not as a fantasy wide receiver, but what this truly means is help to Jaden Daniels. And I kind of talked about that at the beginning of the episode. So Jaden Daniels, comeback player of the year. I think he's going to return to his fantasy greatness that we had him in his rookie year.
You think he's going to run as much?
It may not be as much to protect himself, but I still think he will run the ball. That's his superpower. So,
yeah, I like the Diggs signing for him. I think that was a great signing.
Absolutely.
The offensive rookie of the year. We may have the same player. I put Carnell Tate.
No. Did you not hear my whole argument? 2 wide receiver ones,
Tyson,
man.
huh?
Jordan Tyson, man. 2 wide receiver ones. How can it not be him?
You're not wrong. I didn't say that, so I'm going to stick with Carnell Tate. You got Tyson. You know, they were the wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 coming off the board in our rookie drafts. So I think that's a really exciting thing to look back to at the end of the year, regardless of where we had them.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have you say your Super Bowl pick because this is a team. Mine is a team I think a lot of people are on this year. Last year I had somebody different, and I think it's hard not to pick the team that I have.
Well, let's go you then. Because
I have the Rams.
Okay, that's what everyone's thinking.
I hate it. I hate that I'm on the same like plan as the rest of the fantasy football players and analysts and everything. But how can you not pick the Rams to make it to the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl, when they have like the best defense that's going to ever be this year? They have one of the best wide receivers to play the game, and Puka Nacua, as long as he can keep his head in the game and not be biting everybody. They got Stafford, who was a top 5 quarterback in the rankings of all the coaches in the NFL. I don't know if you saw that. That ranking system that they had. I think he wound up in like quarterback 3 or 4. So everybody seems to love this guy, and Stafford wants to end his career on top, and they're giving him 2 years to do that. I think this year the Rams have an opportunity to get that Super Bowl, to win that Super Bowl, and Aaron Donald is going to, join them also to just make matters worse for every NFL team. But that is going to be a tough one to stop, Colton.
I was going to say, plus the addition of Aaron Donald, possibly, even if he's not even in the best shape, it's still Aaron freaking Donald, man. He
can work out for the next 4 months, not join the team until November, and just be a wrecking ball for the playoffs.
Honestly, when we said Super Bowl, they came to my mind because obviously they have to. But this is a hot take episode.
I know that one was not a hot take. Last year I had the Broncos. I thought about doubling down for the Broncos, but I just don't believe that Nix is healthy enough to be that guy. So I did not pick the Broncos this year. I decided to go with the Rams. Although I did place a bet earlier in the offseason for the Broncos to win the Super Bowl.
There you go. Well, my team is an AFC team. So, and I've already spoken about them today at one point in time. I told you he's
So the
finishing.
Saints aren't winning the Super Bowl?
Saints aren't winning the Super Bowl.
They're an NFC team.
I told you this. Joe Burrow's finishing as your quarterback one, and the Bengals are going to finally do it and win the Super Bowl this year.
Will their kicker watch the halftime show?
Their kicker,
or this year is he not going to be watching the halftime show so that way he can stay honed in, even though he didn't miss a kick in that Super Bowl?
Old cold Evan McPherson is going to be forced to stay in the locker room this year. He's gonna have to join the boys. No more sitting out and watching the halftime show. He's gonna be kicked in the locker room. But the Cincinnati Bengals, man, it's do or die time. Burrow's getting older. They've got the best offense. They traded for Dexter Lawrence. They're trying to get their defense. They can still make moves during the season. This offense, you talked about the Rams, and they have one of the best wide receivers. The Bengals have two of the best wide receivers in the league, in my opinion, as well. I mean, this offense is not going to be able to be stopped outside of injury. They are their own worst enemy at this point. But if this team stays healthy, and if they can make just some tweaks in the season to that defense, they're going to be serious contenders. And Joe Burrow is, man, he's so good if he can stay healthy. And I can see him doing it this year. They're doing the right stuff. They're making the moves. And I like the Bengals, man.
Colton, that was a great finish. We just finished our 100th podcast together. It's been amazing. It's been 3 years in the making. We made it here. We're now Fantasy Holics also. We've had opportunities to do many things over these 100 podcasts. That included the Scott Fish Bowl, the Huddle Report, the Combine. Got to meet a lot of friends, had a lot of people on the podcast. This has been fantastic. But, my favorite part is being able to spend each week with you and our viewers and just talk football for an hour plus.
It's been great, man. One of the best experiences of my life, just getting the time to just sit and talk football and maybe giving some advice here and there, maybe giving some good advice, maybe some bad advice. But it's
last year I said about picking up Danny Dimes, and I heard a lot of people say I wasn't on Danny Dimes until you guys started talking about it. So people are listening to our podcast, and they're giving us some feedback, and they're liking the show. They like us just kind of spitballing stuff back and forth, and we have a lot of fun along the way.
Hey man, I told people in our first season, sell Sam Laporta at the high point. Should have been listening to me, people. Come on. Sometimes
gotta listen to the healers, man.
Sometimes you just gotta call your shot, man.
Sometimes you just gotta call your shot, man.
Perfect.
Double down or triple down?
Triple down, baby.
Sometimes you just gotta call your shot, man.
We're tripling down. This episode is tripling down here, Colton. Where can they find you before we let go? So just in case there's any viewers, they stuck on to this point, where can they find us?
Find me at FFCaptain22.
You can find me at FF Healers on Twitter X, and don't forget to look up thefantasyholics.com as well. We're infused by them, and we're enjoying our time with the Holics. And Colton, it's been great, but it's just the preseason. We've got the whole season to go, and you guys are going to want to stick by us along the way, so that way you know who to pick up, who's relevant, who's not relevant, and who the hell you got to trade away.
Football starts now, man. Thanks for choosing us. Episode 100. We're out of here. Salud.